Oh, greetings there, repairers of Land Rovers and a great deal many other things I'm very sure of. Today we have a very exciting task, which is my first oil change on my Range Rover Sport L494. I've got some suitable oil here, which is low SAPs, and we will explain what the SAPs means, but this is specifically for engines with DPFs. So you need to get this stuff if you've got that, and you also need to make sure it's the correct specification, because we're running a relatively high performance engine. I did buy a sump plug, but as we're going to find out, I'm not going to use that. So there's 6 litres of oil. We've got our filters. Now, I ended up with 2 filters because I bought a genuine one, which said it wasn't going to turn up. And then I had to buy another one because I've got to do the video today. And guess what? They both turned up. I will show a little comparison coming up to say why there's no difference between these, which is quite interesting, maybe if you're a nerd like me, but it just goes to show that the OEM stuff on the Range Rover or Land Rover is using MANN filters anyway. So we'll show up a comparison on the screen for that. The other exciting thing I've discovered, if it is exciting, is that I don't have to get under the car because of my unhelpful body, but we do have this oil drain pipe, so we're going to use that instead of getting under the vehicle and see how much oil we can extract using that. And in order to do that, you need a vacuum pump. So I've gone online onto Amazon. I have purchased myself one of these. Now this is 7 litre capacity, and it's just a nice vacuum hand driven pump. Hopefully it will suck all of that nasty old oil out, and it should be a bit cleaner than going under the vehicle and draining it into a pan. So we'll see. It comes with a bunch of these tubey things. Quite excited, a bit sad I know, but because I can do this without getting under the vehicle, for me that is a real bonus. And alongside the oil, we have to get to the oil filter housing, which is down here at the back. You need a 32mm socket to get that off safely and without damaging it. The other thing is, I've been out for a drive this morning, so the oil is nice and warm. You've got to do this when the oil's warmed up, otherwise it's impossible to suck it all out very easily. Right, so we have to get into this access port here, and to do that we turn, and it comes undone, and then this just pulls off. So I've got my vacuum pump, and this comes with a bunch of pipes. I've worked out that the biggest one that came with it, should fit over the top of our oil port. It's got like a rubber bung thing on it, which goes in here. Okay, it's definitely working. I'm getting oil in there. Okay, so I just sat in the car, put the ignition on and did an oil level check, and it's suitably saying there is a problem, there's not enough oil. So I am going to assume that we've got to the bottom of our oil sump and sucked as much as we can out. Wow, that is tight. That is very tight. I'm not impressed by whoever did this up lost. Okay, so we've got segregations on here, and it's gone up and above the 6. So it does say 6 litres there, so I assume up to there is 6 litres, and then above that is 7 litres. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Just hoping that is correct. And I've actually shone a torch in there just to get myself a level. So in theory, according to other people, this will remove more of the nasties out the bottom of the sump. Who knows? So this is loose now, so from my perspective I've just got to raise it up and put it in there. Actually, because we've drained it, nothing has come out. Right, after a lot of wiggling, finally it comes out. Hooray! Might have a little inspect of that to make sure there's no metal bits in it. Fingers crossed. Remember, this is a Land Rover or Range Rover engine, and then we're just going to clean this out and make it a bit nicer to put back on again. Carefully hook out the old seal with something that's not sharp and pull it off. So that's to be discarded. Right, so we insert our new cartridge. They put it in, I think, with this side facing down to the bottom. Don't think it makes any difference. It looks like it's, so the writing's on the bottom. I'm just going to copy what they did and then push this in, hopefully, so it clips in. It's nice and secure. Right, we're going to install our new O-ring, just gently over the top, and also, I mean, even as before I install it, I'm just going to put some clean engine oil on it just to give it a bit of lube now. I'll probably rub a bit more on it once it's over the top. Exciting stuff, isn't it? Make sure you don't damage it as you put it on, because this is obviously the seal, and then once you've got it on, just going to make sure that this is nicely lubed with a thin layer of new oil. Okay, don't forget to put this fella back on again. You pop it down and then it clips onto the notch, and then it's secure. Excellent stuff. So we're just going to drop down on top, make sure it goes in. Okay, when you're putting on these plastic housings, very important to start with fingers, so you can just start to thread it on, because you do not want to be getting this misthreaded. And then when you hit the rubber seal, usually it goes quite tight, and that's when you have to start sort of putting a bit more force on it to get it to go in with the ratchet. So this is the 32mm socket. I said it, I think, when we undid it. So it's quite a sort of stiff tightening. It's not my favourite feeling for one of these housings. These, usually, when I find it's hit the bottom and it's just kind of like, it's just tight, like as in not very tight, because you've got quite a lot of thread on it, you've got a rubber seal in it, and it's unlikely it's going to undo itself with the amount of sort of friction on it, and you don't really want to do it up very tight, because like when I was undoing it, it was quite hard to get undone. So just make sure it's hit the bottom and it's tight, and that's it really. I think I'll leave it there. I will check it obviously when we run the engine to make sure it's not leaking, but this is the technique I've used on my previous Land Rover Discovery and never had any trouble there. Okay, I'm just going to start filling the oil up. I'm going to shove in 5 litres of this to start with, and then I'm going to try and get an oil level. Random thing, I've given this a clean because it was really manky, which is just a kind of spill guard thing around the filling hole, just a random thing. But after cleaning it up with some WD-40, it actually looks a lot nicer. So there you go.
Okay, so once you've been backwards and forwards and you topped up your oil and you got it up to the correct level, so I've just gone backwards and forwards until, gently topped it up until it's reaching the max. So if you've left the engine for a while and it's settled down and you've got the engine oil level just staying without having to, you know, do the service check, obviously you want the oil to settle so it gives you the proper reading, rather than if you've run the engine it just gives you like an odd reading. So that's why you want this. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.